This is how to make my base level Hawaiian Teriyaki sauce to use for basically everything. From Tritip burgers, hot dogs, you name it. Real teriyaki sauce only has 5 ingredients in it: alcohol, soy, a sweetener or sugar of a type, ginger, garlic, and a little bit of wine of some kind, sake usually. I extend this a little bit by using some different sweeteners and things like that in it. Also, I'm going to add some citrus to it towards the end to give it a little more of a Hawaiian feel. And plus, you may find that my version of this uses a slightly different ratio of dry sugar to soy sauce. But at any rate, to make this stuff is very, very easy. All you need is a saucepan and some sugar and soy and everything ready to go, and that's what we're going to do first. We're going to take, in this case, it's just under 4 cups. We figured out where it's 30 ounces, because why? Because originally I thought you were bringing another one of these, which is 10 ounces each. So, so I'm going to just mind the fly adjustments here. I'm going to scrape out 10 ounces of that, just to keep my. Here's the one thing you always want to keep your mixture, and this is probably the most important rule of the whole recipe, is you can change amounts or types of anything else in you want. Always keep your sugar or sweetener, dry sugar, in this to equal amounts. So 10 ounces of this, 10 ounces of that. You know, that will make micro batches of stuff or big batches if you want. As long as you keep that ratio together, it'll make it the right body and the right sweetness and things like that. And then your other additives will still have something to write in. So what we're going to do is take our 30 ounces of brown sugar. Funk. Okay. Well, 30 ounces of brown sugar, and then approximately 30 ounces of soy sauce. And we're going to start this stuff. I cook everything on high, so cook it on what you want. Slow simmer if you want. I cook everything on high. That's my problem. My microwave has 2 settings: high and forever. Okay. And then once this starts to cook down and sort of liquefy, and there's a word for that, aphasia happening, incorporate, something like that. When the liquid and the dry stuff mixes together, they're not going to come apart again.
Coagulate?
That's sort of like blood clotting. This isn't that. This is more like the liquid never loses. Put it this way: you can take sugar and a glass of some liquid, pour the sugar, but if you don't mix it well, the sugar will settle to the bottom and the liquid will stay at the top. But if you boil it, the sugar and whatever it does into the water, so it never separates again, or both of them. All right, so we got 2. Now this is a 15 ounce, so I'm going to say 2/3 of the bottle. Are our numbers right? Oh. I had coordination issues. Okay, about 2/3 of the bottle. Yeah, okay, it might be a little bit rich, but it's okay. And there we go. And now the next thing we want to do is bring this to a boil and then brew it, if you want to call it that. But when we bring it to a boil and reduce it to medium or so until all the sugar is completely dissolved into the teriyaki. And then at that point, we're going to add the rest of our seasonings and things like that, bring it to a boil one more time, and then we add one more touch and we're done. But for right now, this is as far as we need to take this until this finishes boiling. So we're done. Okay, good enough. Okay, since last time that, kids, we've been simmering this now for a good 15-ish minutes. Remember, man?
Yeah.
And it's cooked down a bit, gotten rid of a lot of the alcohol, things like that, but it's retained all the taste. And now what we want to do is turn it off completely. It's still on the edge of boiling. We turn it off completely. Now what we've got here, that started with a can of pineapple chunks and juice, not syrup, juice. Okay, and in this case I had chunks. You can use the crushed if you want, and I have to do this last step, but otherwise I drained all the pineapple juice off, which I'm now going to put in here, like that. And then I took 1 cube of this out and I really mashed it up, make some pulp out with the crushed pineapple. It's already done for you, and you don't have to do that. But this is what brings it the rest of the way to being Hawaiian here. Between the dark brown sugar and the sugar content, and the extra pineapple and stuff like that, that makes this when it gets done. Now, once this cools down, we can go ahead and strain it, put it into bottles, and store it, and it's ready for use, which we're going to use probably almost immediately once it cools. So here we go. Okay, we are just now we're just now coming to a boil here. Okay, and you know it's just gently coming to a boil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off just for a second while we finish our work here. Okay. Now the next step, the next things we're going to add are these 2 guys right here. Ginger and garlic. Use dry, wet, however you want. Now normally I eyeball this stuff. However, today we're going to do some real guessing and shit. We're going to go, this is a teaspoon here, okay? Teaspoon? Yay? All right, and so I'm going to take about a half teaspoon of ginger, doink. Full teaspoon of garlic. Yep, like minced garlic. Now I use this stuff because I like it and add stuff to it, but you can use dry, you know, fresh if you want to do that or whatever the hell, but you know. So we got our garlic, stir like that, and then what we're going to do is cheat and get these things so that the powder doesn't, like, you don't have balls of stuff going on and things like that. Now we're going to add one more ingredient right now. And it's another one of those that I'm sort of reluctant to tell you how much to add because it's a personal taste thing. And this is, you can use sake, white wine if you want more of a grape flavor. You can use anything like this that you want. It doesn't matter the alcohol, and you'll see why in a minute. Because I'm basically, well, okay, like I said, I usually just eyeball this. So I've got a cup container. There's a cup on that side. All right, and let's take we're gonna take a half a cup of this white cooking wine, but it could be, like I said, sangria. Feel free to experiment here with this stuff. Hell, vodka if you really hate yourself, and just stick it in there. And then now at this point we've got everything added except for our final ingredient, which is the citrus, but that stays till the very end. There's a reason for it. Now what we got to do now is bring this to a boil and then cook off the alcohol. And that's why I said the alcohol content doesn't matter, because what you do is you can cook off as much or as little as you want and make it as strong or as weak as you want. You know, retaining the original grape, rice, whatever it is, taste. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring this to a boil once again. And once it comes to a boil, I'll stick it on basically simmer. We're going to let it sit for, simmer for a good 15-20 minutes, and then after that we're going to add our pineapple and then shut it off, and then it'll be ready to our pineapple juice and stuff, and it'll be ready to shut off, cool, and put in bottles. So for right now though, we're going to bring this to a boil, and then at that point we'll come back and do the rest of this. Okay, so chop. Teriyaki sauce recipe, once it cools, bottle it up, lasts 3, 4, 5 months in the fridge, although usually it doesn't last that long because it gets eaten. But that's it.